guys, what's up? It's Monique and welcome back to my channel. So it didn't take me very long, unfortunately, to come back to you with a follow-up video on Mr. Jacob Blake. If you didn't see the video that I made yesterday, I will link it in the description box below. However, it doesn't look too good. If you watch my previous video, I tried to be a little bit optimistic. I tried to be unbiased, but the evidence is not showing me that it's anything different than what I suspected it would be. A new video has now been released, which I will show a very short clip so you guys can see the angle of the video.
That video just into our newsroom, captured from a yard on the same street of the shooting where it happened. It shows Jacob Blake appearing to be on the ground beside the car before he's able to get up and start walking around to the front of the vehicle to the driver's seat. You can't see the officer shooting Blake in this footage, but 6 gunshots are heard before the video ends.
But it shows the perspective from the opposite side of the vehicle of the first video that we saw, which is the side where Mr. Blake was going to his car and opening the door and then got shot by the police. The video from the other side does show that he appears to have been involved in an altercation with the police, whether they were trying to, stop him, whether he started it. I don't know those facts because the video doesn't show that and they haven't fully spoken on it. However, what it does show is that they did tase him, I think at least once, maybe twice, and it didn't work. Mr. Blake gets tased, he gets thrown to the ground, gets up, and it is said that he has a knife in his hand. That has not been confirmed, but it is said he has a knife in his hand, and it is said that he stated to the police, "I'm going to my car to get my gun." So what this tells us is the police, my biggest question was, why did the police not try to stop him prior to going around to the other side of the car? What this does tell us is that they did. Now, why they continue to let him walk, I don't know. There is a very blurry picture, which I will post here so you can kind of take a look at and make your own assumption. It does show that there is something in his hand. Whether it is a knife, whether it is a gun, we don't know. Now, the other very unfortunate thing about this is that these police officers involved in this incident did not have body-worn cameras on them. Now, the reason why they did not have the body cameras on them is because the police department could not afford them. I mention that because I don't know if this is something that they took off after the fact, after they started discussing, defunding the police, or if this is something that they have not had from the very beginning. But it's a shame. And it's another great argument for why we should not defund the police and take things away from them. Because in situations like this one, the perspective of a body camera would have been extremely helpful. So it's a shame. It's a shame that they didn't have that. But I don't know if you guys saw Officer Brandon Tatum's live last night, but he did a full analysis from the perspective of a police officer from the legal side of things on his channel, which I will also link in the description box because I would love for you guys to see that and hear that from his, his side. He is a former police officer. He has that knowledge. So I don't want to, get into the semantics of the legalities of this situation. But in short, Officer Tatum looked at the video, looked at the newly released video, and has made the determination that the police were in full justification to use deadly force to stop Mr. Blake. Now, I know a lot of people are going to come at me for this. I had a lot of people in my comments yesterday, even though my video, I felt was, trying not to be judgmental. I mentioned that I hope that Mr. Blake made a recovery, and people still took it like as if I was just condemning him and saying he was guilty from the beginning, which I was not. Okay. And I'm still not fully saying that. I'm just reiterating to you what the video that I have seen shows me and what I think about it. The final determination will be made in court. Now, Mr. Blake did survive the shooting. I have seen a lot of misinformation out there. Even on the Black Lives Matter website, it says the attempted murder of Mr. Blake, which if you are not reading it correctly or you don't comprehend things well, it can be misconstrued that he was murdered, but he was not. He was injured pretty severely. He had to have surgery. He is in the hospital recovering in the ICU. His father did make a statement to the media stating that his son, as of right now, is paralyzed from the waist down, but it is not confirmed if that paralyzation will be a permanent thing. Another thing I want to address. Yesterday in my video, I made a statement that I prayed for his recovery, and I still pray for his recovery. I want to make it very clear that it is nobody's job, including mine, to pass judgment on anybody. When I make these videos, I am simply stating my opinion. I am not stating a full, like, hands down what should happen. I am just stating my opinion. And people get really worked up over that. I even had somebody get worked up over the fact that I said I prayed for his full recovery, which I do. It is not my job to judge. It is God's job to judge. It is God's final determination who leaves this earth and who stays. And clearly right now, God has plans for Mr. Blake, whatever those plans are. I don't know. I, in my heart, hope that maybe he can turn around his life and see that he could have done something differently and use this opportunity to speak to children and to speak to people, to tell them, don't evade the cops, follow their instruction. I also had a lot of people tell me I shouldn't be speaking on this. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not Black. Or put myself in the position of Mr. Blake, having his kids in the car, being in that situation. And the truth of the matter is I can't put myself in that situation because I would never put myself in that situation. Number one, I wouldn't bring my kids to an altercation or a domestic violence situation. And it seems as though he left them in the car, from what I can see in the video. Again, I don't know for certain, but that's what it looked like to me, okay? I would never bring my kids to that situation. And if I don't have proper care to leave my kids with so that I can go handle whatever situation I feel like I need to get involved in, then I just won't go. Second of all, I wouldn't walk towards the vehicle with police officers pointing weapons at me with my kids in the vehicle, okay? Third, I wouldn't marry or be with a man who abuses women. One of the things that I did not mention in my video yesterday because I was still wanting to confirm it is that Mr. Blake had an open and current, very recent warrant out for his arrest for domestic violence. That is not the only thing that he has done. He has a long, extensive criminal history involving improper sexual conduct with a minor. More domestic violence. He was, drunk in public or intoxicated in public, waving a weapon around. There's several accounts of his, character is what I want to say. Several accounts of his character. And I know that a lot of you guys are going to say, well, that doesn't justify him being shot. No, it doesn't justify him being shot, okay? But you are measured by your character. So when the police drive up to a scene and they run your plates or they run your ID and they see that you have an open warrant and they see what the warrant is for, they now, not knowing you from anything, have something to judge your character off of. And that is all they have to go by. The second thing they have to go by is how you behave when you start to talk to the police. How are you behaving? What is your body language like? What are the words that you are using? Are you being compliant? Do you seem like you're going to be a problem? Those are all things that give them an indication of the kind of person they are dealing with. I would never be in that situation because if I got pulled over by the police, whether I did something or not, I would follow instruction. Okay. So I want to make that very clear. If this is a lifestyle like the one Mr. Blake lives that you personally, can relate to, then that's your experience. But my experience is I cannot relate to this because I don't do criminal activity. I don't do domestic violence. And speaking of domestic violence, what's so funny about the fact that people are defending this guy? What happened to the Me Too movement? Huh? What happened to that? We were all Me Too movement, women's, protection for women who have been abused sexually or physically by men. And here you have a guy that prior to this situation has a very long, extensive record with abuse to women. Okay. So, I don't want to mix the two things, but I just want to point out again the hypocrisy that we have when it comes to defending these types of people. The other thing I want to point out is I watched an interview with his now lawyer, who was also the same lawyer, and I apologize, I don't have his name, but I will post the video here so you guys can see what he said.
Whether it's George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Rayshard Brooks, there is an issue with the culture and the behavior of policing in America, Wolf. And if we don't have this systematic reform that this moment in America is crying out for, then we're going to continue to see hashtag after hashtag, protest after protest, and cities burning all across America, because we now are seeing it with our own eyes that there are two justice systems in America, one for Black America and one for white America, and we're fighting for equal justice for all Americans.
But he was also the lawyer for representing Breonna Taylor and George Floyd's family, okay? And he made a very interesting comment that he is seeking justice for all American citizens, or whatever it was, or citizens of this United States. And, I want to ask the guy, then why is it that you're just defending George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and now Jacob Blake? What about the innocent people? Again, I'm going to bring up Burnell Trammell. What about David Dorn's family, the police officer that was shot? Did you reach out to him to represent his family? What about Cannon Hinton? Did you reach out to their family to represent them, since you are out for justice for all? The hypocrisy. Again, I'm going to point it out. The hypocrisy. Okay. I'm already seeing the Justice for Jacob, posts that were going out, similar to the one that was Justice for Breonna, which I'm rolling my eyes at it, you guys. I'm rolling my eyes at it because here we are jumping on the train again of justice, justice, justice. What about justice for the person, that he did wrong, or the people that he's done wrong in his life? Okay. What about those people? Again, I'm going to say, I don't think it was right that he was shot, but he brought it upon himself. He brought it upon himself because he didn't comply with the police. He walked away. He didn't casually walk away. I've been seeing that. Oh, you're going to shoot a Black man who's just casually walking away from the police. He didn't casually walk away. He was walking to his car with a purpose. And as of right now, what we know, the purpose is that he was going to grab a gun. And the police cannot allow that. Their job is to protect and serve, not to be nice and compassionate. It is to protect and serve. Okay, so their job is to protect everybody else, including themselves. Their job is to protect those kids in the car. What if that guy would have gotten in the car? What if there was no weapon? What if he just would have gotten in the car and taken off with those kids in the back of the car? Then what? Then what? You guys, they get in my comments and ask me to put myself in his position. Okay, put yourself in the position of the officers, that they have to make a snap of a decision in an instant. I guarantee you, if any one of you was in a position where your life or the life of somebody you loved was in any potential of danger from another individual, you would do whatever it takes to protect yourself. So I want to know what you guys think. Hit me up in the comments, like this video, share this video, and I will be back with more very soon. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye.